friends and all the viewers. I'm really glad about this opportunity to introduce myself and also walk you through with the introduction and the synopsis of the 200 hours Kundalini Yoga teacher training course with Vishuddhi Isha Yoga. We have all the information written on the relevant web page. So obviously you can go in your sweet time and read all the information, all the details about the accommodation, meals, the course syllabus and teaching methodology and everything. But this is an attempt on my part to walk you through with the introduction of the teacher training course, which is 200 hours Kundalini Yoga teacher training course. We normally have this schedule in January or February every year in the winters in Goa. So this year we are having in January, but we do have other schedules as well between July to November. So in case you cannot make it in the winters, like from January to February or March, then you are always encouraged to go on the website and explore the other options. Because I understand that it's not possible for everyone to travel in a limited time frame where we keep our teacher training courses and other retreats. So coming back to the introduction here, I would like to start with my introduction. Well, my information about me and has been written on the website on the teachers page, but I would still introduce myself here. I'm Pradeep Kumar. I'm the lead teacher for your 200 hours Kundalini Yoga teacher training course, and also I am a lead teacher for yoga therapy and the yin yoga. Apart from that, I also teach Ayurveda. So whichever Ayurveda courses you find on the website, whether it is residential or online course, I teach everything whatever you find on the website. Apart from that, I am also a Vedic astrologer, and I also give consultations. And very soon I'm going to start health consultations, including yoga therapy and the Ayurveda therapy in the near future. So I would be able to reach to people who really want to heal or cure themselves from the chronic disorders for which they are not finding any cure in conventional medicine. I started my journey of teaching yoga 10 years back, but learning goes back to my childhood. And I was born in a spiritual family where I learned yoga from my mother and from my teachers in school and other than school. So formally, informally, I've been learning yoga for a pretty long time. And I think it's more or less a culture for me now, rather than a faculty or a subject. Professionally, I'm teaching it, but I also live it as much as I can. The yoga philosophy, the Yam Niyam and all the Patanjali Sutras. It's very important for us to understand yoga and include in our life. It should become the way of our life, the path. Then we get the most out of it. Though it doesn't matter in whichever level you practice, from wherever you learn, whatever you choose to practice yoga, because it's too vast, it also still gives you a lot of benefits on all levels. So as I said that I'm going to walk you through in this teacher training course and help you to understand this course, so that if you want to join this course, you'll be in a much better position to comprehend, to understand the teaching methodology of the Vishuddhi Isha Yoga. Apart from that, you would also be able to hear me live here, so that you understand who's going to be your teacher. Because it's always nice to see your teacher, to observe your teacher a bit before you actually go and enroll for the course and decide to learn from that teacher. And I strongly feel that schools are important. Online reputation. I've written a separate blog about teacher training courses, what you should know about joining yoga teacher training courses, and it's on the blog section on my website. In your free time you can go and read, so I'm not going to repeat that all over again. But it's always the most important aspect is the teachers, because you are going to learn from teachers. No matter how the accommodation is, where the school is located, if you are not able to adjust or understand the teaching methodology of the teachers or the philosophy of the school, then it makes no point for you to be here. And you don't want to waste your time, money and investment and your expectations, your aspirations, which should be addressed. So more or less, the most important aspect is your learning objective should be fulfilled. So basically, In this teacher training course, there are a lot of things. So I would divide into different sections as I'm going to run you through or walk you through with this small presentation or the video, informative video, where you understand what you are going to go through, how you're going to learn, is this course for you or not, what are the, is there any eligibility criteria, do you need any prior preparation for this course, what kind of Kundalini yoga we basically teach, do you fit into this teaching methodology and the philosophy of the school, and of course exam, evaluation, certification, daily schedule, accommodation, all these trivial information I would try to cover, but I would not really go too much detail into accommodation and meals because it's on the website, it's being flashed there. You can just go and read about it in your free time. So what we teach in this 200 hours Kundalini Yoga teacher training course, in terms of subjects, faculties and syllabus, is being detailed given on the website. So I'm not going to go topic by topic in detail, but I'm just going to give you a broad overview and what kind of Kundalini Yoga you're going to learn, so that you can get some understanding and some understanding in terms of what you're going to learn and how you're going to be here. So the most importantly, we teach authentic Kundalini Kriya Yoga, the most traditional way. So there has been a lot of debate that there are different forms of Kundalini Yoga people practice. People practice Yogi Bhajan styles of Kundalini Yoga. Then there's a Yogananda, there's a Shivananda, different lineages and schools are there. We follow the Yogananda Kriya Kundalini Yoga lineage, and I personally have learnt from the Yogananda ashram, and I strive to teach that because I have found that it's the most easiest, safest method for learning Kundalini Yoga for anyone, especially in the modern times. Apart from that, in this course you are going to learn about energy anatomy, which is nadis and chakras. What are nadis? What are chakras? What is the benefit of purifying your nadis? What is the significance of activating your chakras, cleansing your chakras and awakening them? What is awakening of chakras? Then risk and precautions in the practice of Kundalini Yoga. What should be the safety measures you should take care of? Is there any risk? And if it is, then how it should be tackled? Apart from that, you would also learn meditations. You would also learn Kriyas. The Kriya Kundalini Yoga is basically derived from the different other traditional methods of yoga. For example, Hatha Yoga, then there's a Kundalini Yoga, there's a Kriya Yoga. So you might find the combination of techniques, and these techniques are very gentle. These Kriyas are very gentle. You don't have to force yourself for anything. You can actually practice, anybody can practice these Kriyas from anywhere. There are minimum restrictions, but there are some limitations and restrictions as it is, the yoga is a discipline. So obviously Kundalini Yoga is a little stronger discipline as compared to any form of yoga you learn. Then we have a asana sequence which is quite gentle and restorative. In Kundalini Yoga we do not practice very aggressive or very competitive or challenging asana postures, because the goal is here to go inward. In this teacher training course, the kind of the methods or the kriyas we practice, the meditations we do, the primary goal is to take your consciousness inward from outside distractions, the materialistic distractions, so that you can get the revelation of your true self. The revelation or the witnessing of the true self is not going to happen in a month or two. It's a constant practice, and the persistent practice with a lot of love and devotion and the faith would help you to reach there. But it's a gradual process, and you learn the techniques with the teachers. Every day you follow that discipline, you practice, then you learn the philosophy. So the Tantra Kundalini philosophy would also be taught to you in a very simple way, quoting and citing the simple real life examples, how we can apply this philosophy in our own life. Let me tell you, a lot of people understand Kundalini is a very complicated subject, but it is not. Kundalini is very fundamental to our existence, and it is the energy which drives us on all levels: mental, physical, emotional. So basically, we try to raise the Kundalini energy up on our chakras by cleansing your nadis, so that the consciousness can go from the lower to higher. And when the consciousness goes from lower to higher, then basically when you're talking about consciousness, we are also talking about transcendenting the levels of mind. So basically you go from lower mind to higher mind, and a lot of things we cannot experience right now, a lot of things we cannot see, we cannot understand, because our mind is just not there. So basically there's a higher thing, there's a lower thing. So if our mind is and our consciousness is at the lower chakras, so obviously we are not able to connect and relate with things which are on the higher plane. So Kundalini provides us an opportunity. This practice of yoga is so wonderful that it helps us to evolve, and evolve gradually, step by step, because I strongly feel that evolution is better than revolution, as we say in yoga and Kundalini yoga. So same is true. The discipline here in this teacher training course is very simple and organized and structured. So you get up in the morning, we start with morning meditations, we do some pranayamas, because pranayama is also one way of awakening and your Kundalini and cleansing your nadis especially. So there's a lot of things and a lot of methods which goes in the preparation of Kundalini awakening, not activating. Rising of Kundalini is it's a natural event. We can't force it. The Mother Nature will decide when it has to go up, and the dawn of the new consciousness would happen when it goes on the Sahasrara from Muladhara. But we can only prepare ourselves. And in this course you will understand a very systematic and structured way, a very safe way, a very independent way, where you can practice. After learning these techniques from out of this course, you can practice on your own, at your own home, all alone. You don't need any teacher, you don't need any supervision or guidance. However, it is also advised to be under the guidance of a teacher throughout your practice, and we are always we are always connected with our students if they want to be connected with us. So we are always there for you. So we get up in the morning, we do meditations, we do pranayamas, we do have a gentle restorative style of asana practice, which is a combination of Shivananda, Yin and Hatha Yoga. And the purpose here is to actually free the pranic blockages and let the energy and the prana move freely, so that you become slightly more flexible in your, especially in your hip region, in your knee and legs, and your spine region and your lower back. So these regions are very important, and they constitute overall flexibility. So when I'm talking about flexibility, I don't intend you to reach your flexibility through challenging or intermediate asanas here. No, that's not the purpose, and that's not even the part of the course here. We are going to do certain asanas so that we can sit cross-legged in Sukhasana, Siddhasana or Padmasana, whichever asana is comfortable, or based on your practice, whichever you can do. We would encourage you to sit there, and so that you can do kriyas, you can meditate, and of course we'll do other asana. We practice other asanas as well. So it's a comprehensive and exhaustive structure which you follow right from the morning till the late afternoon. In the afternoon we have a Kundalini Tantra yoga philosophy. When I say Tantra, Kundalini yoga is a part of Tantric tradition. So a lot of people in West understand Tantra to something very limited. No, the Tantra has two branches. One is the left, one is the right. You can call the Vam Marg and the Dakshina Marg. So basically Kundalini yoga is a right hand part of a Tantra, and where we go through the discipline, we go through a structure, and we do Kriya, Kundalini yoga, we understand philosophy, we try to understand the Yoga Sutras as well here. We try to follow it as much as we can and the best of our ability. And this entire discipline, where you practice Kriyas, you practice Pranayamas, you practice Asanas, and you also do some contemplative work, introspection within you, so that you improve your interaction with people in society, what you eat, how you interact with people, how is your work relationship with your colleagues, where you work, what is your work and what is your relationship with your work. Everything starts getting more and more clear as you understand this philosophy, as you practice the Kriyas. So this was my attempt to make you understand that what basically we are going to do. More is written on the website, but just to give you information here, that there's a structure, and without thinking, if you just come here and follow that structure, that schedule, and you live in balance, you don't allow yourself to get distracted with outside influences and objects and people, and you be centered and focused, and you be open and learn here. Openness is very important, and you be open with your teachers, you trust them, you try to connect with them, and you have a faith. Then of course you can get the maximum out of this course. So as I mentioned before, that in this Kundalini Yoga Teacher Training course, we mostly teach Kriya Kundalini Yoga. So you must have heard about Kriya Yoga. It's a slight modification of a Kriya Yoga, where we merge the other techniques of Nad Yoga, Mantra Yoga, Hatha Yoga as well, and of course Kundalini Yoga, and we create some Kriyas. So these Kriyas are not created by me. It's a school of system, and I'm just a student and follower as well, and now I'm authorized to teach. So with the grace of God and with the grace of my teacher and master. So that's why I'm trying to propagate and pass it on to the other interested students who would like to follow this path. So let me explain you what is Kriya Yoga. So Kriya Yoga is basically an action. Kriya is the Sanskrit word, the English of which means an action, but not an action without intention or without consciousness. So basically it's an intention and consciousness and the awareness, which is very important, and that makes it a Kriya. Now you can say that anything is Kriya. Yes, it is. As long as your intention is to open your psychic centers, it becomes Kriya. As long as that particular Kriya helps you to become a better person, to refine yourself, to cleanse yourself on all levels, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. So all these levels are very important, because your entire personality is a sum total of where you exist in a fragmented way, and then you unite as a wholesome individual. So it is very important that we practice Kriya Yoga, because as I said before, it is the most safest method. It doesn't require a lot of restrictions, and it doesn't require renunciation of anything, or you need to reject or leave or accept beliefs or things or lifestyle. Wherever you are, in whatever city you are, in whatever lifestyle you are living, you can start doing it. It's not going to produce any undesirable side effects. However, there is a code of conduct and a discipline which we have in this teacher training course also, and also when you go after this teacher training course and practice on your own, because without following certain restrictions, whether they are restrictions about your lifestyle, your sleep, your food, your diet, your interactions with people, your friends, your environment, all these things really matter, because basically things are coming to you and entering into your physical, mental, pranic body. So obviously if those things are undesirable, or those things are negative, then they are going to block your chakras, and basically your nadis would be blocked as well, and then of course we are not able to go and rise up. Well, so we do certain creative visualizations here on the psychic centers. So in Hatha Yoga, what we do, we try to move our physical body, because body is connected to mind. When I talk about mind, I'm talking about Chit. Chit means consciousness. So we are trying to create a discipline, a discipline in the, we start with the physical body. I'm not saying that we just do physical asanas in Hatha Yoga. We have Shat Kriya, cleansing methods, we have meditations, we have mudras, we have pranayamas, and pranayama is itself a technique of awakening Kundalini. So all methods are working together in harmony, in balance, to create an effect which helps you to cleanse your nadis, and open your chakras. When your chakras and nadis are open, the Ila and Pingra, which is like the two opposite forces, Ida and Pingla, starts moving from either side, and then they merge and they keep going up. So basically we need a open pathway. So if you want to drive your car on the highway uninterrupted or unobstructed, then you need no blockades. You need the space to be open. Then only you can go in a uniform speed and constantly. So likewise, there are a lot of blockages in our pranic and casual body. That's why we are not able to air our consciousness. It's suppressed, and the techniques or the kriyas which we are going to practice here are all going to open those psychic centers, psychic pathways, which is nadi, through which the prana flows. And how we do it? We do it through simple kriyas. These kriyas would be explained to you here. They would also be explained to you in parts, in segments, because a kriya is composed of different constituents, like different techniques. Like there can be a mudra, there can be a pranayama involved there can be lock involved there can be some mudra like Shambhavi mudra involved there, or asana when you sit in a certain asana, Bharadwaj asana or Sukhasana or Siddhasana or Siddhayoni asana. So all these integration of all these different techniques would create a subtle effect on your consciousness, and then you engage your mind. You first stabilize your mind, and then once your mind is stable, you try to air your consciousness by doing a visualization through your psychic centers. And with the passage of time, if you keep doing it, if you keep airing your consciousness, then your psychic centers will start opening, right? So you know that we say that in yoga that even if you're eating, you should be aware of your eating, that you digest pretty well. And if you are distracted and you're eating, then probably the chitta, it's just a physical act of eating. But if you involve your chitta and your consciousness, in this term I would call awareness, if you're aware of eating your food, if you are concentrating and enjoying and you're happy about it, then the different digestive juices would be produced much better, in a much better way as compared to when you're distracted. Likewise, when you're trying to air your consciousness, we use all the we integrate our body, mind, emotions, imaginations, visualization all together in one, so that we can air our consciousness, we can go deep inside and touch those psychic centers, and then we start diverting or directing the prana, known as pranic manipulation. We start directing the prana in those particular chakras where we want to create opening and awakening, and that's the trick. So basically it's very scientific. I cannot explain you everything here, but I'm just trying to explain you what is Kriya Kundalini Yoga. And contrary to other forms of Kriya, contrary to other forms of Kundalini Yoga, this is very gentle. Minimum restrictions, minimum limitations, no side effects. And when Kundalini awakens through this method, there won't be any shocks or crises that normally people are afraid of. And I'm also going to talk now why people are afraid. Some people are afraid to practice Kundalini Yoga because they have read this thing in the books that it can make you crazy or lunatic, but that's all nonsense, because even if you eat a lot of chili, you can have problem. Even if you eat a lot of sugar, you can have problem. Even if you do something in excess, you can have problem. If you drive your car in 200 kilometers per hour, maybe you have an accident. So basically it applies to all activities or things we do in our life. So if we don't follow the structure, if we are rigid, stubborn and obstinate, and we are not following the teacher, we don't have any respect for the Kundalini, we don't really understand what we are and how the Kundalini works and manifests within us during these kriyas, then obviously you would be called ignorant, and ignorance is sin. If sin is a very heavy word to say here, but ignorance is not needed, because whenever you do something in ignorance, you always have undesirable consequences, or you land up in a problem. So basically the crisis or the undesirable effects of Kundalini Yoga would happen only if you have not followed the structure, if you are completely on your own, you just want to do what you want to do without following the advice of the teacher or teachings of your previous teachers. You just want to go in a disruptive way, you disrupt things in between, then of course there can be problems. But as I said, that that can happen even in your normal activities in your life, while driving a car, if you're drinking an alcohol, if you drink a lot, I mean, then you can be knocked out and then you need the help of somebody to take you home. You can become sick also. So they are different. Anything in excess is bad. So anything which is followed without any structure in yoga can give you undesirable side effects, and Kundalini yoga is not an exception, because Kundalini yoga is a form of yoga which requires some set of instructions to be followed, some structure to be understood, and also the discipline to be maintained. Otherwise there's no risk. Especially the Kriya Kundalini yoga, the Kundalini yoga which you practice here is quite safest, and it doesn't change your diet in a big way. Obviously, even the practitioner of Hatha yoga should alter his or her diet, but not like a forced thing. It comes with your own wish and will with time, and you understand what I'm talking about if you have been practicing yoga and been under the guidance of some teacher. So yoga is not about rejecting or leaving things suddenly. It's about understanding and experiencing it, and then things are dropped on their own. You don't have to leave them or reject them suddenly. So this is quite safe, and the techniques and the kriyas are very beautiful. You would find them very interesting and you would love them actually, and but you have to do it. So in the teacher training courses we have this discipline where we make you to get up in the morning, and you follow our structure, sessions after sessions throughout the day. They are being spread out Monday to Friday, and Saturday Sunday of course we have off, so that you guys can practice and revise and complete the assignments, and also have some free time to see places here and there, maybe relax on the beach. We have a beautiful beach, one of the most beautiful beach actually, I would say. It's my favorite beach in Goa, very yogi beach where we are located, just right on the beach. So obviously Saturday Sunday is off, but rest of the days we are pretty packed up, and the schedule is set out for you. You don't have to worry about anything, as long as you are open to learn and you are applying it, not just after TDC but also during the TDC, during the teacher training course. Is this course for you? Well, it's a very personal question, but I'll try my level best to answer it for you. However, I won't be able to answer it for you because I'm not you, and you have to find out based on whatever information I'm trying to give you here, whatever is on the website. So I'll try my level best to help you understand, is this course for you? This course is not meant for anybody who just wants to learn yoga in a superficial way, because the first reason is we don't teach in a superficial way. We are not a commercial yoga school. We actually take only 6 to 7 students in one teacher training, and I would also come on the eligibility part because we do some screening here, but I will leave it for the later part of this presentation. Here I would stick to the basic aspects which you should be considering before you enroll for this course. First of all, if you are interested to come to a non-commercial Indian yoga training school, then Vishuddhi Isha Yoga is definitely the one. I'm not saying there are not other schools, but I do not comment about others because my job in my life is to talk about myself and to see myself. So how we are teaching, our teaching methodology and philosophy, you can read more about it on the website, but we are working with a mission to create teachers who can take this authentic traditional yogic lineage forward ahead in the world and help people to train, heal, cure and support and guide. Basically inspire them to live like that, and before they inspire, they have to be inspired enough to live like that on their own. So basically the mission is to create teachers, to help them to reach there in their professional career, professional or not professional, that's their choice, but basically in their life when they can get immense benefits of practicing this traditional, authentic Indian form of yoga, here the Kundalini yoga, and that would really help everyone. So that is the mission of Vishuddhi Isha Yoga. So as I said that we are on the beach, but when you study in our ashram, in our school, the reason I said ashram, we are not really an ashram like you would find in any other ashram in India, but we have those ashram ethos and the philosophy of training our students and living ourselves here personally. So focus is entirely on the course where you study things through direct experience with the teachers. We teach with love and devotion, and we also want you to carry forward that love and devotion in your practice for yourself and for others, whether you teach or not. Yoga is not just about, this course is not just about for teachers only. This is for anyone who is interested and enthusiastic about learning yoga seriously, deepening their practice, and also going forward by a much better understanding, having a much better understanding of yoga. So that is our endeavor, and we truly believe in giving you the most authentic and true knowledge, whatever we have acquired in the process from our masters and teachers. Second reason I would say that if you want to be a professional teacher, then you need professional skills. The structure of the course is designed in a way that you not only learn, but you also practice most of the things every single day. So when I've been teaching in other yoga schools in my life, I was always been a teacher trainer and taught in teacher training courses. Without naming anyone, with all the due respect, I'm a little bit disappointed about the fact that a lot of yoga teacher training schools focus too much only on asanas, too much only on physical aspect of yoga, ignoring the philosophy, ignoring the other techniques which work more directly on your psychic development, like meditations, pranayamas, and contemplation and act of witnessing, kriyas. So what happens is that you produce teachers who have a lot of knowledge about asanas, but yoga is not just about asanas. As per the Ashtanga yoga and the 8 limbs of yoga, asana is just one limb, right? So we cannot be very selective. If you want to be selective, then the benefits that you get out of yoga is also very selective and restricted. So choice is ours. We don't believe in that philosophy. We believe in a holistic way of learning where you should practice everything, and your yoga practice should be out of all the techniques that we have here. You should have a balanced structure, balanced schedule, and a balanced content. So that's how we have designed this teacher training course, and that's how you practice here every day. And when you practice for 3 to 4 weeks, that kind of a structure, you understand that how important is that to practice yoga in a holistic way, to practice in a wholesome way and not in a very selective way. So that kind of an approach you get in Vishuddhi Isha Yoga. We do not stress upon or strive to teach you only one thing well. We strive to teach you everything. And how good you become, you cannot become a teacher just completing 200 hours of yoga teacher training anywhere, because yoga is too vast, and one teacher training course is just not enough to equip you with all the skills and all the experience. So obviously you have to keep going on and go ahead with the continued education and practice, teach, learn, so that you grow as a teacher when you teach to your students. But we would try to give you the most relevant methods, techniques, structured, scheduled, syllabus, methodology, which would help you to gain those skills to some extent individually. It completely depends on individual, because we all are at different skill level. We all are coming from different background, different practice, different history, different mind and body. But if you are open and if you really practice here with an open mind and follow this structure, then you would really deepen into your practice, and also you would acquire a lot of knowledge and skills. and then you just have to polish your skills and keep learning further. So this kind of a dedication we have as a teacher here, and we also pass it on to our students when we teach them. Next reason is that you learn from a direct experience. We all are experienced teachers here, my other teachers are also. So we have a traditional system of learning that might be a little bit difficult for someone. That's why we go for screening, because we want you to focus only on learning. So obviously our code of conduct is a little strict. It doesn't mean that we dictate on you or we decide for you, but there are certain things which are not allowed to do. There's a complete separate list of things on the code of conduct page on the website which you can read. But apart from that, we also like you to apply it and take it seriously. Teacher training courses have become like a fashion fad, you know, like a lot of people want to just go and do teacher training courses probably because they felt that doing it's better than retreat. No, you should have a clear focus when you come to study with us, and if you're serious and dedicated student, definitely aspiring for a spiritual and the personal transformation, then this course is for you. Then this Vishuddhi Isha Yoga, this school is for you. But if you're non-serious, if you are distracted, you are merging tourism with your teacher training course, and you're too much fascinated about being on the beach all the time, you're too much fascinated about making friends. I mean, it's a little bit silly, but you won't believe that a lot of people come here to make friends, and I don't think so. Your teacher training course should be your place to make friends. You can make friends, and you always make friends, because there's a small group and you live with them for almost a month. So obviously you interact with them, you share your experiences, you share conversations over dinner or lunch. So of course you make friends, but that's not what you're here for. You're here for learning from teachers. You're here for learning from yourself and apply that knowledge and sit alone with yourself, and do not do chit chat all the time, but try to be quiet and meditate and practice. And this is the culture of Vishuddhi Isha Yoga. We encourage you not to engage in a lot of the chit-chatting and sightseeing all the time, being on the beach, ignoring your studies. This is not something we can decide for you, but we have this kind of a teaching methodology and code of conduct where we try to encourage you. We also try to enforce at some place where we feel that somebody is going really out of line. So we have some discipline, and you have to follow the discipline code of conduct. So then this school is for you. Other than that, if you really want to learn Kundalini Yoga and you really want to be healthier, happier, harmonious, get rid of your imbalances, your disorders, yes, Kundalini Yoga is a very therapeutic form of yoga, and you would find out if you practice for some time, like 3 or 4 to 6 months of period. If you want to transform your mind, body, emotions, cleanse your emotions to a different level, then this Kundalini Yoga course is for you. I think I've covered pretty much everything, but I think last but not least, this course is for you if you want to become the genius version of yourself. So I'm not giving you a quick fix here. When I say genius, we all are geniuses in a way, in a sense that we have a much higher potential than what we have, and the science has also validated that we use only 20%. Even the most intelligent person uses only 18 to 20% of his or her mental capacity or the brain. So Kundalini helps you to increase that person from 20 to 30 to 40 and 50. So obviously it's not a hidden fact. You would understand that if you can use 20% more of your brain, if you can awaken those centers which are sleeping and dormant in your brain, then what would happen? Of course you would become a genius. Of course you would really excel well in your profession, in your skill, in your career, in your concentration, in your memory, in your emotional intelligence, in your IQ, and that would have a far-reaching impact in every sphere of your life. So obviously, if you are interested to become genius version of yourself, I'm not trying to compare you with anybody, because in yoga we do not have to compare ourselves with anyone. We are loners, we have been traveling alone, and we have come alone, we will go alone. But of ourselves, how we can contribute more to this world, if we had more energy, if we had more time, if we had more talent and skill, then we would have not only utilized it for our own personal achievements, but also would share it to the rest of the world. So I want to give you an example. If somebody discovered the bulb or the light, then it's not just for him, it's being shared. That particular invention has been, and been shared to all the people, and people are really benefited with it. So likewise, we can only contribute to others if we are enriched in the first place. And Kundalini helps us to become enriched. Kundalini helps us to be healthy, happy and harmonious. So in the last segment of this introduction, I would wrap it up by giving you some information about accommodation, meals and basic instructions which are already there on the website. See, we are basically a beach yoga school, and we are on the most beautiful beach in the South Goa, close to Patna, Talpona beach. We have two kind of accommodation. One is a beach hut accommodation, and another is a basic room accommodation. So obviously the prices would differ. So please send us an email, or read before sending us an email, so that you have a prior information. And I think everything is pretty much written properly on the website so that you can understand. But still, you can always send us an email if something is not clear. Meals are very reasonable. We provide Indian vegetarian meals, 3 meals in a day, and of course the tea as well, the herbal tea. The food is simple, organic food, and it's very reasonable and cheap as compared to any other part of Goa you would find. For the prime reason that we would want our courses to be reasonable, so that not just people who have money would come here, but anybody who can come. So if you compare our course prices with other schools, you would find that we are quite reasonable, but obviously it's not cheap, because quality never comes cheaply. The other aspect is that we do not provide Wi-Fi internet, but wherever you stay, like you stay in a beach hut, they have Wi-Fi. If you stay in a basic room, then there is some kind of a Wi-Fi, but it's very unreliable. But you can always have the phone SIM card and take a 4G or 3G data pack. And it's quite cheap in India to get that data, internet data on your SIM card. Other than that, the duration of the course has already been mentioned. If you complete the courses successfully, you would have get certification after exam and evaluation. Exam and evaluation consist of the practical exams, the case studies and assignments, and of course the final written exam of almost 3 hours. And if you achieve or attain at least 50% in all 3 of them, then you will be passed. So make it sure that do not make an assumption that if you have paid for this course, you've enrolled for this course, then you would get a certificate by default. No, you have to pass the exams, you have to do well, you have to perform in the sense, not the performance we are expecting. 50% you can easily do if you focus, if you are attentive, and if you're really serious about studying in your free time, then of course you can easily get 60-70. And as I said, that this Vishuddhi Isha Yoga School is for CS students only. So I don't think so CS students would face any problem in passing this course. And the non-serious students would not come here. And if they become non-serious all of a sudden, then of course there is a guideline, code of conduct and instructions which I'm already giving you here. So keep this thing pretty well in your mind, that this course doesn't give you a certificate by default because you have enrolled by paying for this course. You have to deserve it, you have to earn it. Other than that, I think the other aspect I wanted to discuss about is what we do after you complete this course. So basically we also have a volunteering opportunity for the students, for the good students whom we select, whom we find can align with the philosophy of Vishuddhi Isha Yoga, who are also practically available to volunteer even next month or the coming months or the next season, next year. That is completely a subjective thing to discuss about, which I will not really disclose here. But we give volunteering opportunities, we give work exchange opportunities to our existing students. I'm keeping this very clear out here, that a lot of people send me emails and they ask about work exchange and volunteering opportunities straight away without knowing us, without we knowing them. That's not going to happen here, because we believe in giving the work exchange or volunteering opportunities only to our students who have started and lived with us, and we know them, they know us, and we have a trust on them. They align with our philosophy. So that is one thing that you might be curious about if you want to stay back in India and keep learning this way, with restrictions and limitations that people have sometimes, especially financial limitation. I hope that you enjoyed listening me, and I tried my best to give you the information here. What is Kundalini Yoga? I'm not going to explain you here. For that I will put another video on the YouTube. You can always go on our YouTube channel, though the YouTube channel is very new. It's being launched almost a month back, and mostly the Ayurveda videos are there right now, but we are going to put a lot of content there. So in your free time, I would advise you to go on the website, read my blogs. All the blogs have been contributed by me personally, and all the videos you would see me and my other teachers over there, so that you can connect with us, you can understand how we teach, what is the spirit, what is the dedication level, what is the commitment. And if you feel connected to us, if you feel connected to Goa, if you feel connected to our ashram, our school, then you are invited to be here and engage us for the process of screening. So yes, the thing I was about to forget, which came all of a sudden in the last moment, as I'm speaking in a flow, so a lot of things are coming here and there, as it's always. So we have eligibility criteria here. This course is not for absolute beginners. Absolute beginners, I mean to say, who have not done any formal course before and they are extremely new. They are not advised to do this course because they won't be able to cope up. The people who have been practicing any form of yoga for last 1 year or 2 can go for it. They have been consistent in their practice, they have read some philosophy, and last but not least, most importantly, they connect with the school's philosophy. They connect with our teaching methodology. They are able to find that match that they have been looking for. So obviously then you would have a Skype interview with the lead teacher. In most of the courses I am the lead teacher. If I am not available, then an assistant teacher. So you have to engage either me or my other teacher, and we will have assessment. It's not a test, but it's just to try to understand you and you try to understand us, so that we feel confident that we can be together, we can be with you, and you can be with us here spending 1 month for this teacher training course. And we feel it's a very healthy way, because a lot of people, they enroll for courses based on the reviews from somebody else. Come on, give me a break. Going to reviews is fine, but you cannot just blindly take the review of somebody and invest your money for and your time and your efforts and education, put your education on stake because somebody wrote good or somebody wrote bad. No, that's not the way to select teacher training courses. The way to select teacher training courses, which is kind of an academic course of 1 month, is to engage your teachers, is to actually read everything on the website and ask questions either on email or on the Skype live session, and then decide whether you can go to that school or not. And if you're not ready to do that kind of an effort, then I'm sorry to say you're extremely non-serious about your choices in life, and that's definitely going to shock you, and nobody's going to be responsible for it except you. So hope this session helped you guys to understand Vishuddhi Isha Yoga, 200 hours Kundalini Yoga teacher training course. If you feel connected, if you feel you have more questions, feel free to post your queries on email. We can also talk and ask me questions on the live session on Skype. Like, this is like a one-way communication, but it is definitely possible that you can have an appointment with me on Skype and have a two-way interaction, like an interactive session where you speak and I speak, you ask questions and I answer, I ask questions and you answer, so that we have a much better understanding of each other. And I wish that I could guide you here in this session, and I've spoken enough, so I would like to end up with wishing you a very good luck. And if you decide to study with us, we will do our level best to do what we should be doing and what we have been doing. Thanks a lot for watching this, and hope to see you soon here, either in my inbox if you are the one to study with us, or on the Skype session to take it forward for the registration and enrollment, hopefully. Thank you. Namaste.